Hi guys, welcome to a brand new episode of the Arsenal Away podcast with me, Samrit, and of course, my partner in crime, Ashwin. We're not a brand new, we're a year-old Arsenal fan channel based on two Gunners from India. Ashwin's of course in Mumbai, and I'm in Delhi. We're pretty much present on all social media channels. We're on Twitter, of course, Facebook as well, and of course our main source, YouTube. So please like, subscribe, share with your friends. Click the bell icon to get notified whenever we come out with a new video. And of course, we pretty much talk about all things Arsenal, from transfer rumors to game previews to reviews, and of course, uh, regularly going on rants about how the Arsenal are playing. Having said that, I'm glad I didn't have a good. I didn't. I'm glad I didn't have a good stream yesterday because I was losing my shit over what we were doing. We would pretty much outpace and if it outmatch yesterday. If it wasn't for Leno keeping us in the game, and for some solid Gabriel defending, and how Holding conspired to miss that chance in the second half, free header from a Pepe cross. I don't know. It seems to me that we've somehow mastered taking penalties. 'Cause I don't think there's a cooler team in all of England to just be so nonchalant about the entire thing. But we're through. We beat Liverpool. You very rightly predicted that we'll beat them, and we keep our confidence up going into the game against Sheffield.
You know, I saw a couple of Twitter comments last night saying that this is probably Liverpool's third string side, not even their second string side, and we're sitting back and defending, playing five at the back. And see, I understand the frustration of the fans, but I also understand where Mikel is trying to come from. It's not that we're trying to play negative football, but he's trying to find a balance where he can keep us in the game because that Liverpool side, let's not forget, started with the likes of
Had Salah
had
as well.
yeah, started Mohamed Salah, started with Fabinho, and started with Van Dijk. You know, you don't expect the spine to be that strong, especially when you're starting with the strongest of strongest players that they're starting with, right? So to be fair, we kept Salah quiet for majority of the game. You're right, Leno made some fantastic saves in the second half to keep us in. But let's not forget, we had some chances. I remember the first chance in the start where Pepe pulled it back and Willick played it for Eddie, and Eddie should have shot. I don't know why he was trying to go around the keeper, and
There was that ball from Xhaka as well
there was
in the first. Yeah,
that's what led to the
yeah,
first
yeah, yeah,
chance,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you're right. Holding had a free header that Pepe grew into the game. Thought that he started off a little iffy. Obviously, playing he was played on the left, and I tweeted out saying that we felt a little lopsided as well because Joe Willock is not a right winger. He was playing very central, and there was no attacking threat from the right apart from Cedric crossing those balls. But overall, I'm satisfied. I said if we keep them and take them into penalties, I think we'll beat them because, as you mentioned, there's some sort of swagger about us taking penalties. And just look at the way Maitland-Niles came and took that penalty. He was so nonchalant, and I mean, it's not the first one he's done. Like, there's a complication going around Twitter where he's done this about 5 or 6 different times now, and he did that against Allison against in the Community Shield as well. Let's not forget, Allison is a monster of a keeper, and for him to do that. And all our penalties were good. Everybody was confident. Joe Willer got a little lucky, but
Yeah, he did.
man of the match, not counting outfield players, man of the match had to be Leno. I think it proves to everybody why we took that decision to sell Emi Martinez and keep Leno as a number one. Because let's not forget, I think football fans have this very short-sighted memory where you tend to forget. But last season, we were talking about our player of the seasons, and we spoke about it being split between Aubameyang and Leno. Because if Leno hadn't been there, we'd probably been in relegation battle. I remember before Arteta came over, there were teams that were coming and battering a goal. Watford were getting about 30 chances, 30 shots on goal against us, and for those games, if Leno wasn't keeping us in the game, we'd probably be losing 4-5 nil against like smaller teams. So Leno came and showed why he was so good. What was also very good was Gabriel was very good yesterday. For a guy who's come in from France, not played for 6 months, come into a brand new league, doesn't speak the language. He seems to be a powerhouse. I don't want to jinx it. He's strong aerially. He wins the ball. He tackles. He passes the ball well, and he doesn't seem phased at all. Okay, I know we played Liverpool's not their first team, but but like you mentioned, Mohamed Salah was there, and we managed to keep him quiet. Uh, yeah, just before I send it out to you, again, what really, really, really angers me is that even yesterday, I felt like there was an agenda against Arsenal. I know we've spoken about referees and Arsenal,
Are
and
you referring to the Milner
yeah,
incident?
not only that, there were so many fouls that there were, like, I think there were about 3 or 4 handball moments that happened where the referee just didn't give it to us. There were fouls that were being made on Arsenal players that the referee was not giving, and obviously because there's no VAR to refer to, it was just going against us. And it feels like, United and Liverpool, because they are those European, I mean, the biggest English clubs or whatever, they seem to have the backing of the referees, and it felt like that yesterday again. But luckily, we got through. Otherwise, it would have been one of those days that we'd be blaming the referee. That Milner one was a clear penalty. He's literally fallen on the ball. He's handled it like there were 3 or 4 touches on it. And if that's not a penalty and if that's not handball, I don't know what is. So yeah, your thoughts on the game and how you think we went about it.
No, I mean I agree with you. I'm anyways not a big fan of this contest. I think it's Arsblog had a very funny tweet yesterday on this contest. You cannot. I mean, it made no sense, but I sort of got the sentiment. It was he said something about you cannot spell Carabao without crap. So I sort of that, and that's how I feel about this contest. This competition. I think it's an absolute waste of time in such a season, and I've made my point known about this as well in the past. It should not have been held this season with just a fixture and run of games with the Europa League also being announced today, um, which thank God have a decent enough group where we don't have to travel very far as well, and teams that we should be beating very easily to make it to the knockouts. But yesterday's game, I thought it was I don't know. Is it just me or have are we? It seems like we set up just very defensively against even lesser known teams. I'm not seeing a very different style of game for a little while now. It's the same long ball from Gabriel or from Luis or from Tierney to the wing, and then we somehow hopefully have the likes of Oba or someone else at the receiving end for that, and then it's all hope and pray. There's not much creativity happening, and I'm starting to get a little concerned now because we seem a lot we just seem very one dimensional. How this will work against the likes of a Sheffield who are just very defensively solid will employ a low block. How we break them down, I don't know. Um, so
It's games like these that really is what's concerning us, where Mikel needs that reinforcement, right? Because against the bigger teams, we seem to be okay because we sit back, we defend, and we try to, like, exactly like how you said, play that one long ball over the top and hope and pray that one of the attackers latches onto it and scores. But you're right. That's where we struggle, which is why I think he's in the market for the type of players that we want and we require, and I think that will also improve us. But news from today that PSG is coming for the one target that we
yeah,
wanted.
it's concerning because look, I get it that we're and it's some and I think I forget who made this point on Twitter, but and it's pretty and I sort of agree with it because the problem of this summer, not of this summer, they started last year when we spent £100 million
I think
on
it was like
players
Grove.
that we yeah Ligrove I think who could have and we could have done better. That's
Spent
not to say that
100 million on
that's
two
not
players who aren't first team players as yet.
yeah. So that then there was I mean the emergence of Ainsley also has not sort of helped. Why did we spend 16 million on Cedric? Okay, I can maybe see the point of it when we weren't sure if he was going to stick around or not. Um, so now you have positions that are just overloaded with players. Cedric, Bellerin, Ainsley as right back. We've got I think a whole truckload of centre halves that we're not able to get rid of. Um, we
Just
have
just before you go forward, talks of centre halves, the talks of Saliba going back on loan. What are your thoughts
yeah
on
no
that?
I think I understand that as well. He's not really had very many game times, and maybe they don't think he's ready as yet. Um, which then brings me to the point: why have if we thought he wasn't ready, he should have just stayed at Saint Etienne this summer. Why bring him back um, and have that entire fiasco that happened with Saint Etienne about him not playing the cup final, etc., whatever. The point still remains that we're once again in a position where we don't have a ready squad, where it seems like things are half baked, where if we don't get the players that we need, Ashwin, this is going to be a long season. We need some creativity in the midfield. We have a creative player who, okay, maybe is past his prime or just couldn't give a shit, but we have someone like that on the bench. So there's a lot of ambiguity right now, and that's not good for someone who is trying to make things right for us. The Sheffield game is going to be tough. Let's not make any bones about it. I think we will get the win eventually, but it's going to be a slog. And I hope that we go into the international break with a win, because anything less than 3 points will put pressure on the team. That's anyways struggling to create. The transfer window closes about what our time, 3 or 4 in the morning on Monday, on Tuesday. Sorry. Um, so yeah, I hope we get our business done. It's gonna be very interesting. I mean, at least from everyone that I keep following on Twitter and keep reading, that people keep saying it's gonna be a busy few days. Um, and yeah, we can just wait and watch and see what unfolds. 3 more days, and we'll get a clear picture.
I get what you're saying. It's be one of those that we always,
It
we
just
dread.
seems like
Yeah,
it just seems like we've been here before,
it
and
has.
we know how things have we know how things have turned out.
I mean, see, I get it. I see that most of the transfer business happens on the last few days, but I don't know why teams have to wait that long to make business go through. It's just
Which is why I was really happy when the transfer window, when they decided to close the transfer window before the season
once the
started.
season starts. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and that was perfect, because then you for forcing teams to come to a decision ASAP.
yeah.
They again went back to the same old shit. It makes no sense.
I mean, we can discuss we can have a whole podcast on the transfer window, which we probably will. But let's get to the game against Sheffield on the weekend. Sheffield were really strong. They finished above us last season, but they've started pretty badly this year. They played three, they've lost three. They're 19th in the league right now, not showing the sort of form that they showed last season. Is it probably second season syndrome with them, or it's just maybe that they've just not been able to put the or find their best form? But it would be typical Arsenal to uh, get a team,
Give them their
yeah, give
first
them
three
their first
points.
victory. Yeah, yeah. So, your thoughts on how we're going to line up, predictions, and hopefully, like, who's going to score the goals for us if we have to score any of them.
I think the lineup will pretty much be the same as it was against Liverpool over the weekend.
So Gabriel comes
Um,
in. No,
I think Gabriel will come in. So okay, like, if you want me to name the lineup, it'll be Leno, Bellerin, Louise, Holding, Gabriel, Tierney at the back, with Xhaka, Ceballos. That makes it seven. I
yeah,
hope my math is correct. Yeah, seven.
yeah,
And Willian, Oba, and
Yaka.
Lacazette up front. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably so we're basically saying that Kolasinac has dropped out, right? Which is obviously which
I mean,
makes sense.
There's some rumors of him being linked to the move away. So
Leverkusen.
ideally, if yeah, there was. I was a little surprised that he started at all yesterday.
Mm, mm,
Um, maybe he won't on Sunday.
mm.
But yeah, I think the transfers make might just
Uh,
change that as well.
you think it's a good time for us to? We're obviously playing at home. We're playing against a team that's struggling in the league right now. Do you think it's a good time for us to move to a four, maybe more for the back and try it out, give it a go? Maybe if it doesn't work, we can always change
I,
it.
I I would like us. I've been wanting us to move to a four for a little while now, because we need that extra body in the middle. But I think we probably will move to a four once we get a better sense of who comes in before after Monday. I think if let's say hypothetically both our reported targets, Awa and Party, come in, I think we'll move to a four straight away with Awa, Party, Ceballos,
Shaka being
for
dropped.
sure, for sure. So I think it'll be a 4-3-3, because I think they will want to play uh, Awa at the tip of the diamond with Ceballos as a box-to-box guy and Partey also just not being a holding midfielder because he's not really, but someone who's more box-to-box. But I think that's what they line up with moving forward, assuming these two transfers happen.
I highly doubt he's going to drop Xhaka though. But let's see.
I don't think he will either. I don't think he will either. I think Ceballos is the one who probably makes way,
Mm-hmm,
just to offer that dynamic dynamism. Assuming we need someone more creative later on.
mm-hmm.
But I'm just. I mean, I'd like to see this. I don't think it will, because I think you leave the midfield pretty much open if you have both Ceballos and Awa playing. But I think it'll probably be. You're right. It'll probably be Xhaka, um, Partey if he comes in, and Awa moving forward. So
Mm-hmm.
I do see us moving to a three-man midfield moving forward.
Yeah. One interesting thing from last night was Pepe played 90 minutes on the left of the, I mean, left instead of the right, and we usually seen him being deployed from the right. Last year, as well as in Lille, he played only from the right. You think there's a possibility maybe that he sticks with Pepe on the left, probably has Villan on the right, and moves Auba central? Is that a possibility for us going forward?
I would like to see Auba central,
Mm-hmm.
as with most Arsenal fans, because I think, I mean, it depends on how they play, on how we have this reliance now of. Funnily enough, we sold Giroud, who was a target man, who was pretty much sorted for the system, and now you're playing Lacazette as someone who, in that position, in that role of someone who needs to hold up the ball, bring others into play. You serve Giroud used to do that amazingly
Brilliantly.
well for us. So now, whether or not Auba comes into the center, I don't know. It's tough. Who do you then? Who does Willian sit then, or do you switch flanks? Does Lacazette not play? I think I don't know. I think this will change moving forward, because for all we know, Lacazette might just move in before Monday, and we might get one more attacker in, maybe a Zaha or someone. I don't know. I'm again speculating. I don't know.
You think Arsenal are going to do a madness on Monday night?
I hope they do something. I mean, I'd like us to do something because it just seems like we're not able to move players. We're not able to get players. And that's all pretty much down to how terribly the entire our entire
Wage
like,
structure.
yeah, it's horrible. They've sold Brewster for 20 something million,
Yeah, yeah,
and we're signing, and we're not able to get like what 10 million, 9 million for the likes of Ainsley. Fuck off with that. So
yeah, yeah.
it's
I mean, Brewster's not played a single Premier League game for
yep.
Liverpool at all, and I mean, they got getting 23 million for him. That's insane. Anyway, before we end, I'm obviously going to ask you your predictions, but just before we go, there are obviously a few players leaving the squad. Torreira is going to
Atletico.
Atletico. Again, something that surprises me is that there's no obligation to buy in the deal. There's a loan deal. Again, does it come down to Arsenal offering such high wages that we're not being able to offload these players? Why are we dealing with Atletico if they're not willing to budge on the party deal? Whether they're not going to include him. What happens if Atletico say, okay, we are not happy with Torreira next year and we don't want to buy him? Then he's back on our books again because there's no obligation. Why are we such a why are we so poor in the transfer market? Is it because of the inexperience of Edu? With no Raul being there, obviously, we have its pros and cons of Raul being there, not being there. But you think if he was there, we'd let this happen? Why don't we just let him go to Italy? And I mean, it's the same thing. They wanted him on loan and with an option to buy. Why don't we just send him there? Why are we obliging to what Atletico want?
I know. That's why we like this is the $1 million question. We've been like this for a few years now. Even under Arsene, we were like this. We had terrible transfer dealings. We've squandered away a huge chunk of change over the last few years. Um, Not only over the last couple of years, the last few years under Arsene, during Arsene's reign, signing the likes of Squillaci and Sylvester and Danielson, there's a whole bunch of players you and I could rattle off. I don't know. I don't have an answer. I mean, if you do find this answer, let me know because quite honestly, I find it hard to believe how a club like Arsenal, which is apparently one of the richest in the world, is not able to get something as basic as this straight. And we've been struggling in this portion for a while, getting rid of players. Also, I mean, I guess it has more to do with the fact that clubs and players take advantage of us because of the fact that they know that our need is more pressing, so they can push us for more money. But yeah, I don't know. I hope we can. I think this it'll probably start getting better next year onwards once we have like a handle on the COVID scene and whatnot, and people start coming into the stadium again. Because
Don't
as you
count
know,
on
we're
it.
pretty much. I mean, I'm just saying it in a way because we and other couple of like a lot of clubs rely on match day revenue, and we're not getting that anymore.
Mhm.
So season ticket renewals haven't happened. So I think there's a huge hole there that needs to be filled. How we need to do it, I don't know. Do the Kroenkes start going to their own pockets and helping us out? I don't know. I don't think so. It's not happened over the last 10 years or so. For 10, what, 2026, 2006, 2007, 13 years or so. I don't know. But yeah, yes, I'm sorry. In the rant, I've completely forgotten Sheffield. I think we'll beat Sheffield. I think it'll be a tough game to somehow score past them. I'm going for a single goal victory. So I would probably say a 2-1 or 1-0.
Who are goal scorers for us?
Who? Okay, let me go out of the box a little bit. Willian to score his first Arsenal goal.
Yeah, I was pretty much going to go for the same thing as well. I was going to go 2 on Arsenal, and maybe we score. Willian scores with like a free kick
Free kick or something, yeah.
or something like that to break the deadlock. And hopefully we both are wrong, and it's a goal fest, and that I mean we score the goals and not concede any. But because we desperately need that. I think just before getting onto the pod, we spoke about how uh, we're a team right now where we're the second last team in the league which who created the most chances. Right, we've created 24 chances, and that's terrible for a club like Arsenal. We used to under a different manager, we used to create chances for fun. I know we're defensively better right now, but we need to find that balance. And Arteta needs. I know he needs to address that. He knows that as well. He's not one of those defensive managers. He's obviously worked under Pep, and he's come under Wenger as well, right? Like he's worked under Wenger, so he's not one of those defensive managers to play the game that way. He's trying to obviously find a balance, and yeah, let's hope come Sunday, firstly we win that game, and then come Monday we do the business that we require, and hopefully we have a good night's sleep so that we wake up on Tuesday and we're happy because we're heading into the international break, and it'll be nothing worse than heading into the international break knowing that we've signed Jorginho and signed
Oh my
Felipe
God!
Felipe
Don't even go there.
Felipe
I
Anderson
can't
on loan.
I can't imagine watching Jorginho and Xhaka in the middle. It's and Felipe Anderson. Like really,
See,
West Ham.
it's a possibility because if you remember when Chelsea went after Jorginho, when obviously when he was at Napoli, there were two clubs that were interested. One was Man City, the other one was Chelsea. And in fact, Man City had a deal that was completed with Napoli, and last minute Jorginho decided to go to Chelsea because Chelsea offered stumped up a little more cash or something at the end. And then, which is why the relationship between Napoli and Man City is also sour, and that's why the whole Koulibaly thing is not happening. But let's not forget. So Arteta was there. I mean, the sort of players that both Pep and Arteta like are going to be similar. So it's not very far fetched for me. I can understand why Arteta would want someone like a Jorginho, but after watching Jorginho play in the league, it's something that I'd not be happy with as well.
I mean, we need. Does he? He doesn't. Like we need creativity and goal from the midfield. He doesn't do that for Chelsea. He's not done that for Chelsea. So how is he gonna? How is it going to be a level up to what we already have? Is what I want to understand. I don't see that. So it makes no sense. I mean, not that anything that we've done over the last couple of years has made any sense, anyways. But yeah, I hope we know what we're doing. I don't trust us enough to know what we're doing. We did it last summer when we thought we got the players that would have made a difference. We need a winger, we got a winger. We need a left back, we got a left back. Um, we've gotten a centre half as well this summer. We just need to hope and pray Edu knows what he's doing. And yeah, I know you and I will talk about how the transfer window went sometime next week. I think middle of next week we should probably do one and figure out how and finally analyze the squad and figure out how we will line up moving forward. Um, Yeah, that's about it. I'm excited for Sunday as usual, and then I think I'm even more excited for
Monday.
who we bring in and who we don't bring in. I think it's not. It's. I want to say no. Like I like the phrase "no news is good news," but in this situation, no news is
It's
terrible.
terrible.
It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. On that note, man, just before we sign off, let's not forget there's some positives as well. We've beaten Klopp three times in the
Three out
last
of one. Yeah,
three out of four
three and one. 3 out of 4. Yeah, 3 out of 4.
in the space of three
Last
and a half 4 months. So let's not forget that. So that record is pretty good. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for joining Samrid and me. And let's see you soon. Hopefully, post the Sheffield and the transfer window to see that what we've done. And let's take it from there, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Ashwin. Thank you, guys.